What up, world? Welcome to a new episode of the Brandon January Show, video podcast edition. As you already know, this is on my YouTube channel, Brandon January Show. Um, so, um, go watch the video that I posted yesterday. I think it was from me to you. So go watch that. Also did a podcast episode yesterday. Dark Times Ever. So go and listen to that and that podcast episode. Um and yeah. Also shout out to my brother Big Smash. Everybody was in the Zoom with us last night. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Didn't win, but it was cool. I was pretty happy just to be in there and doing it. Um, it's cool. And shout out to my brother Big Smash. And definitely we got another one we gotta do. And now I think I know how the crowd works. So, you don't know how to, what the crowd really wants. So yeah, we're gonna see how that goes next time. Definitely. And let's start this show, man. So speaking of music, I always do, something about music, and it's always called music that has impacted my life and taught me lessons. And for the last since 2 weeks now, I've been doing, albums. Albums that have impacted my life and taught me lessons. Um, and one of those albums comes from one of my favorite artists, um, you know, J. Cole. Um, J. Cole is one of my favorite artists. I think I've said this numerous times. That J. Cole is one of my favorite artists. But the first time, I heard J. Cole was actually his mixtape Friday Night Lights. And no, actually, no. The first time I heard J. Cole was actually on the Blueprint 3 on Jay-Z. It was on Stars Born, and J. Cole was at the end of that song. He literally was at the end of the song, and he killed it. He killed that shit. You know, the flow so tight that they think the boy Ho wrote the verse for him. No sir, like it was just like J. Cole was just a different type of dude, man. Even then, and then of course he had to warm up, with Blow Up and also Growing Up Simba. Yeah. Uh, um, and then you had and then Friday Night Lights, and Friday Night Lights is just different. That mixtape, I would say is probably top, if you think about it, like over the last maybe 15 years of mixtapes booming. Like that's in the top 5 probably of mixtapes ever. Like just off of the rip, just because of like what he accomplished on that Friday Night Lights mixtape. So incredible mixtape, man. One of my favorite songs from J. Cole was actually on that mixtape. Um, Too Deep for the intro. It's probably one of my favorite, songs that I've ever, Too Deep for the intro is probably one of my favorite songs ever from J. Cole. Taking Erykah Badu, and just running it. It was like, okay, this is different. This is different. Right now, Too Deep for the intro is probably one of my favorite songs, and then he still had songs like Back to the Topic, Back to the Topic, The Autograph, bruh. Um, actually that was the mixtape that he had. Friday Night Lights was actually the first time him and Drake collabed on there in the morning. So yeah, they had so many fucking songs on there. Home for the Holidays, stuff like that. And then he dropped, his first, and then I remember driving through, going home. I remember going home one time, and his first single that he ever had put on the radio that came on, and that was Who Dat. Because from New Orleans, you already know Who Dat. So, but his song was called Who Dat, and he was just rapping. Like I'm like, oh shit, who the fuck is this? And like maybe it's like 12 o'clock in the morning, getting to New Orleans, and like, And I'm just hearing him rap, and he's just like, the mind state of a winner. While you niggas was thinking about the summertime, I'm thinking about the winter. While you niggas was plotting, I was plotting this moment back when y'all was riding spinners. Like, I was just like, yeah, okay. Like, hey, this is, that was, I was like, all right. And then his first album came out. It was kind of a mixture of what Friday Night Lights was. You had, Lights Please, and you had, Blow Up. You had a lot of shit from the mixtape, but then you had songs like Lost Ones, Nobody's Perfect with him and Missy Elliott. His song with his Lost Ones, of course, In the Morning with him and Drake. Can't Get Enough of him and Trey Songz. He had also, what else he had on that project? Jay-Z and him. That might have been the last time him and Jay-Z ever collaborated. Thinking about it, like he did, of course, Blueprint, and then he did, they did Blueprint together, and then they did the song for his album, and that was the last time I think him and Jay-Z ever collaborated. And to be one of his artists and not even hit up Jay-Z and be like, let's go do a song, like, it's crazy. But like I said, Lost Ones. I think I said Lost Ones. It's another fucking song, man. I used to listen to this shit every fucking day. Rise and Shine. Yeah, Rise and Shine. So, yeah, Silent Story was pretty dope. But it wasn't like, it was commercially successful, but I think he hated that, about that, because he just like, I don't like that shit. So he kind of takes his break, comes back with Truly Yours mixtape. The Truly Yours mixtape is such a fire mixtape. Those are two other mixtapes that if I had to, I put up against anybody else's mixtapes and be like, listen to this shit. Truly Yours, when, Can I Holla at You, and, Rise Above, and one of my other favorite songs that J. Cole's ever done, not Too Deep for That, Tears of ODB. Dude just ripped it. Stay. Tears of ODB is just, if you never heard Tears of ODB, go listen to it. It's incredible. Then he did also, did his second mixtape, Truly Yours, too. That's with Cold Summer, and that's with a lot of collabos. I think him and 2 Chainz did a song. I can't remember the fucking name of that shit. But I know him and Jeezy got a song called Kenny Lofton, which is like the dopest fucking song ever. And then he ends it with 3 Wishes, which is like the dopest. That shit is so fucking fire. Head Busters is another fucking crazy fucking song that nigga put together. And it's like an old school beat. It's perfect. It's a perfect song. And then he dropped Born Center, which is like, come on, bro. Born Center is such a great project, front to back. Let Nas Down is still one of those highly regarded songs in my book that he's ever done. Sparks Will Fly with him and Jhené Aiko, fucking fire. Niggas Know. That was bonus. These are literally bonus tracks. She Gonna Pop, New York Times with him, 50 and Bias, his artist Bias, which is another dope motherfucker. He was killing it on J. Cole's new project. Y'all ain't never heard Bias, go listen to Bias. That nigga beast. But New York Times with him, 50 and Bias. Who else? What else on that project, man? They got so much. Of course, him and Miguel with Power Trip. Fucking so many fucking songs on Born Center. But go listen to Born Center, Forbidden Fruit with him and Kendrick. Like, that project's dope. But the album that I'm talking about today is actually the project after that. 2014 Forest Hills Drive. It's like the project that pretty much put him on the map of the top guy in the game. Now, when we always talk about the legends in the game right now, it was always 3. It was always the 3 guys. It was Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. I think that album solidified why Cole was third. Why everybody will always say, well, Cole too, Cole can rap, Cole. Because at that time, Drake had already taken off. Kendrick's first project, he wasn't touching it. It was like, that fucking project is a classic project of all time. Like, it's top notch, would never be touched. What debuts come to mind? A Good Kid, Mad City. And Drake was already Drake. Like, Drake was rolling through shit, like running through shit. So 2014 Forest Hills Drive, it kind of established what J. Cole was. J. Cole is one of those artists that that was the first time I think J. Cole finally did what he wanted to do. No features, nobody was on there with him. It was just fully him, and he produced a lot of the album himself. And I remember watching like the 2014 Forest Hills Drive, like the fucking tour, the film he put out for it, like the documentary he put out for it, and just watching that shit. And the first song he puts on there, he's just like literally in New York riding a fucking bike. He's in New York riding a bike, and it's the intro. And you're listening to the intro, you don't even realize it. Like why is this nigga riding a bike? And he's like, do you wanna be? And it's like, whoa, that shit's different. Okay. And this is the most simple intro, but it's so peaceful, and it's peaceful. It's like, wow, that shit's crazy. And little did you know, it went right into the real track. And, but that intro is so cool, man. It's such a peaceful fucking intro. And like, again, like I said, him riding a bike in New York City, you're like, okay, that's kind of weird. You're like, that's weird. But then you see it, and you see, like, the impact that New York had on him. And now you hear every album that he has had. Like, if you're a real J. Cole fan, you know he went to college in New York. He went to St. John's, and, he played basketball there and everything. So, so New York meant a lot to him. And, of course, being signed by one of the greatest New York rappers of all time, Jay-Z, kind of also plays a lot into that, too. So, but, the intro is so incredible. Like I said, it goes right into January 28th. Now, I embrace January 28th a lot, because I'm an Aquarius, my goddamn self. 3 days apart. January 28th, fucking phenomenal. And he's got a verse on there, the second verse. I think everybody knows the second verse. Where he starts it off is like, what's the price for a black man life? I checked the toe tag, not 1 0 in sight. I turn the TV on, not 1 hero in sight. Unless he dribble or he fiddle with mics. That shit is incredible, man, because at that time, that's when, like, Black Lives Matter really started. So for him to kind of, like, and just go into that mindset, just set the tone with that, it was just like, okay, we see what's about to go down now. And then at the end of the album, at the end of that song, he just talks about all the rappers. He just like, you might be L, or you might be Kane, or you might be Slick. He's like, man, I don't sound, he said, you started off like, I don't sound no dope. I don't sell no lies. Niggas saying my quotes. I don't tell no lies. Niggas saying my quotes. Nigga, you might be L, or you might be Kane, or you might be Slick Rick with 19 chains, or you might be Jersey Drake or Kendrick Lamar. But check the birthday, my nigga. You ain't the God. I always felt like he was throwing a shot at Kanye for that. Because Kanye at that time was like on his Yeezus type shit. And I think J. Cole was shooting a shot at him like, nigga, you ain't that. Like, stop saying you are. Like, you're not that. Stop it. I think that was the first shot that you finally saw, like, oh shit, J. Cole going at Kanye. Like, okay, that's pretty impressive. Okay, I'll take that. I always said I wasn't a huge Kanye West fan, so, I love this music, but it wasn't like on some he changed my life type shit. Nah, I never was that guy. Lil Wayne more so was like that guy for me. Like, I was like, oh, that nigga changed. Nah, I'd say Drake and Cole and Wayne. Those are 3 that changed like my mindset about a lot of shit. But January 28th is such a phenomenal song. Like I said, I embrace it. I'm an Aquarius. I love that song to death. And it's funny because it kind of gives all the angst of an Aquarius in that one song. If you don't know how much of an angst an Aquarius have, go listen to that song. You'll figure it out very fast. And then it goes into everybody's favorite song. I'm not even gonna get into this. Wet Dreams. We already know how great Wet Dreams is. We not even about to do this. We not even about to do this right now. You're about to do this right now. And then it goes into, I think his address where he was living, 03, I can never say his fucking name, 03 Ansley, some shit like that. But even on that, it's so incredible. Like the fucking skipping the beat at the beginning, and then it like skips for a second, and then he comes on and raps. And again, he says something at the end of that verse, at the end of that song, was very impactful. he was like, I'm talking to my friend. I'm like, I'm looking at all the money he doing, all the money he pulling in. I'm like, hey, man, nigga, what you gotta do? What you doing to get that shit? Nigga, put me on. He just laughed when he seen I was telling, like, he was laughing at me. Yeah, my friend was laughing at me, like, nigga, is you serious? And he was like, yeah, nigga, I want to get paid. I'm trying to get it like you. He was like, nigga, don't you understand? Like, how you looking up to me when I look up to you? Like you about to go to school, you about to be like something in this world, and nigga, look at me. What am I doing? Like, I'm in this fucking house. Like, my mom don't really love us. Like, he's like, nigga, your mom at least trying to get you there. And he was like, man, he was like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know how much of that shit is. Like, he was like, man, like his friend was like, told him like, nigga, if they ain't never won us, why the fuck they never wore rubbers? Like, I was like, whoa. I was like, yeah, that's. I was like, and just again the truth of that. Again, like him apologizing to his mom for always wanting this fancy ass life, and it's like, oh, I ain't never had that much money. I ain't never had those many clothes. I ain't never really was that type of guy. Man, fuck that. And then his friend put it in perfect perspective for him. Like, bro, all this shit I'm doing, like, nigga, I have no choice. You have a choice. You could go. You could live your life. You could be something one day. And I was like, wow. He was like, oh, shit. Like, I need to apologize to my mom for that. And I was like, that was real. And that was a real thing. And then it goes into, I want to say, no, Tales of Two Cities. Tales of Two Cities is another one. I went to the last J. Cole concert, the KOD tour, and I wanted to see him perform that. And when he performed that shit, literally, because I saw this on the festival, on the documentary, when he performed it at his city, and he had everybody like waving their hands in the crowd with the red lights beaming. At the end of the song, he's like, hands in the air now, hands in the air now. And that shit is true. You get so like into the song, you start realizing like you doing this shit. You don't even realize it. Like, you just like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, and to see him do that, man, I was like, yo, this shit is crazy, man. I was like, man, this shit's crazy. It was so cool to see that. That was so cool. So I felt that song heavy. Firing Squad, he performed that also and like killed that shit. And then he was like, he kind of was like telling a lot of black artists, like, yo, y'all niggas fighting over being the best rapper alive. Nigga, look around. White people are still not sound. Like, everybody. And that is fucking crazy because kind of is how it is now. It's like, nigga, look around. Like, white people are still in our sound. They're still in our style. They're still in everything that we do. But yet, y'all niggas keep arguing about, I'm the best rapper in the game. I'm the number one guy. It's like, the fuck are you doing? And I thought that was really cool for him to say that shit on Fire Squad. He also dissed, like, I don't think he dissed Eminem or Justin Timberlake. He definitely dissed Macklemore and Iggy Azalea. But I don't think he dissed Eminem and Justin Timberlake. And Elvis Presley. He dissed Elvis Presley too. But, and then it goes into, of course, everybody's favorite song, No Role Models. No Role Models, I could easily get into it and go into in depth into No Role Models. We already heard the song. We know what No Role Models is about. He's got so many good songs, man. GOMD. GOMD, man. GOMD is a different kind of fucking song. If you ever heard the song, you know what I'm talking about. You know, and even at the end of that song, he's like, you know, niggas don't rap about, like, he was like, nobody talks about love songs no more. Everybody in this bitch talking about some to the window or to the wall. It was like nobody talk about love songs no more. None of that shit. You just getting into that. But go listen to that song. That shit's a dope song. One of my favorite songs, though, off the project is Love Yours. He performs this now every festival, every show I've been to. I've been to 2 J. Cole shows. For Your Eyes Only tour and Love Yours. I mean, For Your Eyes Only and KOD. He said that's his favorite song he's ever done. And that's my favorite song he's ever done, too. Especially off of albums. I love all his albums, but that's like a special song. It really is. Love Yours is so Love Yours is such an incredible song. The first time I heard it, it was on YouTube. The album had leaked. The album had leaked. And I remember listening to the song in my room. And for like the next 2 or 3 hours, I kept going back to that song. Maybe because of what I was going through at the time. Whatever the case may be, when I heard it, that became my favorite song. It's so simple, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's so simple, but it's not. You know, at the beginning of the song, he literally just says, "There's ugliness in the success. You know, there's beauty in the struggle. There's beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success. Hear my words and listen to my signals of distress. I grew up in the city, and sometimes we had, compared to some of my niggas down the block, man, we were blessed." It's so true. You know, it's like, I remember that. Like I said, it goes back to what I said about him talking to his friend. And his friend said to him, like, nigga, I look up to you. Why are you looking up to me? That's crazy. Because I got money? Nigga, I would give all this up to have a family and somebody actually calls me and checks on me and see where the fuck I'm at. And Love Yours kind of just wraps all of the album up in one song. It kind of just like, you know, even when he's like talking about like, at the end of the song, when he's just talking about like all of the things you see now in life, that you literally see now in life, where he was like, yeah, you got somebody, he's like, yeah, you might not have the freshest clothes, you might not have, you know, there might be some bad chick on tour that you want to get with, or anything like that, but it's like, if you go home and you got no love in your home, and you ain't got no people there that really loves and embrace what you do and really keeps, pushing you to be great, all this shit's for naught. And I think that's an incredible story to wrap up an entire project. Like, it pretty much gets to the end of what the whole project was, you know. So 2014 Forest Hills Drive is probably one of the greatest projects that I heard by an artist that already was pretty much considered a GOAT. But he proved it on that album. Like, yo, I'm in this conversation. Stop ignoring me. He's like, stop ignoring me. For Your Eyes Only, another project after that. His For Your Eyes Only song at the end of that project is fucking phenomenal. You want to hear lyrics, you want to hear bars, go listen to that. For my hip hop heads, you want to hear some lyrics, you want to hear some bars, go listen to For Your Eyes Only. At the end of the album, For Your Eyes Only, that song is it's 8 minutes and 46 seconds, but you won't even know. You won't even know. The KOD project is such an incredible project, and it flows perfectly. And then, of course, like I said, he got his Revenge of the Dreamers 2, 3. I like Revenge of the Dreamers 1 because one of my favorite songs off that bitch is called Revenge of the Dreamers, and his shit is fucking phenomenal. And of course, Off Season. Do I need to say more about the Off Season? I'm trying to go to that tour right now, matter of fact. I need to get these tickets because I gotta see that shit. But 2014 Forest Hills Drive is a classic. It's a classic. It's a classic album. It's a classic body of work. And it was the first time I think people finally was like, holy shit, J. Cole's really in the conversation with Kendrick and Drake. Like, oh shit, we might really need to start listening to this nigga a little bit more. And he's always been in my top 5, no matter what. And that's just the way it goes. So, got another podcast episode tomorrow. I'm also doing an Instagram live tonight with my guy, Frankly Francisco. And tell you guys tomorrow. Peace.